And I found like a lot of this information, like of a spiritual nature, yes, start a podcast. I would love to, and I've tried multiple times to do stuff like that. And maybe this is part of me getting more comfortable with that because, I obviously like to talk because I sit here for 2 hours and talk to you guys who, I can't see your faces. Yeah, my Discord name is just the shared story. It should be easy to find, I think. If you just type, it's like all one word, the shared story. But yeah, I can talk, but part of my I guess the thing, I was resisting it because I stammer a lot, and sometimes I don't. There's a lot of ums and uhs, and it's very comfortable for me to be able to write and edit myself in the shared story videos, but it's a little cringy for me sometimes to listen to myself just ramble on. So I have kind of resisted podcast formats because I'm not, it's not my strength necessarily. Sometimes I'll sound like I don't know what I'm talking about, or I'll get lost and I'll forget what I'm saying, and I didn't want to like take away from the sort of magical quality that I think I was trying to put in the shared story vibe, so to speak. It's like I didn't want to get in the way, like my own personality to get in the way of the shared story's message, I guess. But, I've had some friends who've kind of said, what, get over that. You're being too neurotic. And that's probably the case. It's very possible. But yeah, so I've been getting more comfortable with just being myself in front of a microphone and not feeling this need to sound like some kind of genius, or to not make mistakes or fumble my words or whatever. Getting me more comfortable in front of a microphone on the fly, But the other cool thing is like, something that can happen in this kind of environment is like, people sometimes will come up with these questions and it'll kind of cause a spark, in my mind where suddenly like I really have something to say. Like it's a good question, and I really love that. And I feel like I did some experiments on Reddit that were kind of like that, where it's almost like just getting a prompt to talk about something that you hadn't really considered, and then you ramble for a little while, and suddenly you realize like, oh, that's a new idea. I've never thought of that. And so I really love the interaction of other people's questions, because it sends me in directions that I probably would not have thought about, So I really, if you guys are into this stuff and you're confused or you're suffering or you got questions, like, I want to help, but it's also helpful for me because it helps me to formulate and sort of narrow down a lot of these ideas and concepts and make them more absorbable, for your average person. Because like, it's like, why do we, I guess it is, everybody thinks they're trying to help. And I guess I'm guilty of that. Like, I'm trying to help. But I have this joke with my wife. We joke about this a lot. Like, everybody's trying to help, But if everybody was trying to help, man, the world would be very different. Everybody thinks they're helping. I agree. You got to watch yourself. You have to make sure you're motivated by the right things. You have to, and I feel like if you truly want to help people, your orientation has to be just like with this chart thing. I mean, it's like you have to be oriented in the right direction. It's like using a tool for the task that it was made for. And I think if you don't have a clear understanding of how reality works, You can think you're helping, but you're actually making the problem worse. And that's what I don't want to do, because I feel like there's plenty of people making the problem worse. And when I say the problem, I just mean suffering. The problem of people suffering, usually mostly because of institutional malpractice, whether that's governmental or corporate or religious institutions, whatever, all these institutions that we think are supposed to be helping us oftentimes are not doing that. And it's a bitter pill to swallow, I think, for some people, because you kind of, I grew up thinking like, oh yeah, the government wouldn't do things purposely to hurt us. Like, the government's there to help us.